Appalachian.
So, ghost stories are one of the highlights of this year's Apopkon.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, because you're telling some later on tonight, correct?
Yes. I'll be over by the campfire. It's s'more time, they're calling it. So, we're going to be here, and Kari is my lovely wife and assistant who illustrates all the fun things.
And you, of course, are Mark Muncy.
I am Mark Muncy, yeah.
Creepy Florida and
Eerie Florida, and Freaky Florida. It's
3 books on the bestseller chart.
Yes,
Okay.
Which is crazy. And then our now...
Not crazy. People are obsessed with scary stuff
yes,
right now.
I mean, our podcast is doing crazy. Eerie Travels you can find now. So it's
Where can they find that?
On anything. Spotify, iTunes, Audible, all that. Spreaker, iHeart.
And we had a great moment in the... First of all, you're in the haunted cabin at
The
a
haunted
Apopkon.
cabin, Pawnee
The
cabin.
haunted cabin at a Apopkon, right?
Yep.
And so we were having a fascinating discussion earlier about the idea of the urbanization of legends, of like stories start out one way and then pop culture kind of comes in. I'm pop culture obsessed, so I was fascinated when you were telling me like how things change based on movies. Like, so can we just talk about that a little bit for a second?
Yeah, because the story at this cabin is that a girl ghost haunts Pawnee cabin, and her name is Camper Julia, and she laughs, she cries, and and makes the lights flicker, and we'd heard this story before coming here,
right?
And because I was like, oh, Camp Weewa, I bet that's an old camp. I bet there's a ghost story or two.
There's
and
something scary here.
Gotta be something there. I mean,
driving
I know
in, it's terrifying.
There's a place called the Highlands, which is like a wedding venue nearby that used to be an old restaurant. Now that's super haunted. So we were like, okay, that was what I was going to talk about.
That restaurant reservation's over, Joe.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, it's a wedding venue now. So
well, that's good.
Yeah,
Just
if you're going to have your wedding there,
hey,
you got a spare.
And I'm already married.
So am I. So
you
we don't have to worry about that.
Or a spare bridesmaid,
just
depending
people
on
that
the
are going to
ghost.
die. And okay.
Yeah. But
how do you want to start your romance?
Yeah. But anyway, so the story goes is the girl was, she haunts this cabin. It's like, so okay, but that was the original story. Now we were able to find the history that a girl did drown in the lake in 1970. Does not mean she was a camper. Does not mean anything. Just it's a tragedy from 1970.
Camper sounds so much better.
It
Mark,
does, right? It? And it's right here off this lake, which does border the campgrounds.
Because there's a camp.
Yep, exactly. So now the thing is, though, the story suddenly becomes, instead of just this girl drowns in the lake and haunts this cabin, she was bullied, and they stole her teddy bear. And they threw her teddy bear in the lake, and that's why she runs into the lake to save it and drowns. But then the other story that we had another camper tell us.
Yeah, you had a counselor tell you today.
The counselor tell us today that, oh, no. The girl was bullied, and her teddy bear was stolen, but it was thrown into the campfire. She jumps into the campfire to rescue the teddy bear, and that scars her and sets her off on fire, and she runs off into the woods, never to be seen again.
And that ties to almost every major horror film.
Exactly.
Like
and
a Freddy Krueger.
Like Freddy, Jason.
Yes, everybody gets burned alive at some point over their
or
drowns their childhood belongings and whatnot.
And that is what we realize, okay, this is how the story has grown.
But I think it's fascinating that you know the story from the beginning, you come in and you have contact with somebody, and then all of a sudden it completely changes.
Yeah, and then suddenly it's a completely
something else,
different thing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So,
and that's what a lot of our stories are.
What fascinated me, though, was when we were in the cabin talking to you guys, Kari said that she doesn't get affected by this at all, or
nope.
nothing?
Generally oblivious.
We were at Spring Hill Cemetery, which is in Brooksville. And it is considered one of the most haunted cemeteries in the world, let alone, Florida. The people were lynched there. There's a Civil War ghost there. There's a little kid ghost there. And
is that the one we saw the boar at?
Yeah, there was a wild boar that's as big as so that we saw the wild boar.
That seems fair.
Yeah, but when we're there with this film crew from Discovery Channel, doing a ghost thing, and of course they're all skeptics and don't care, and I'm telling about the ghost of the little kid. I'm talking about the
ghosts are money,
ghost.
Mark.
Exactly. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. Is the money
flickering.
Yeah. So So as
Try
we're
not to get scared.
they were all mad because we had to march like a half mile into the woods to get to this because the road there wouldn't take their RV.
Yeah,
Right.
that's great.
Because the road there is
The
terrible.
roads there are going, don't come.
Yeah, don't come. Yeah.
Literally stay at home.
Yeah, so we get there and we film our bits and we're packed up and we're leaving and nothing has happened. They're all like, oh man, we wanted to hear ghosts. We wanted to see this and all this. And I'm like, hey, not every day's Halloween, guys. As we're leaving the cemetery, we hear this, this little kid laughing at us.
No.
And they're all like, oh, and they're trying to dig out their equipment. I'm like, nope, sorry guys, show's
Too late.
over.
Yeah.
They were making fun of you.
You got
then-
punked.
And I'm like, suddenly I
You
turn,
got
I'm like,
punked by the
I was
ghosts.
like, Kari, you were here. It happened. And Kari's over on the other side of the cemetery taking a picture of a butterfly on a tombstone and heard nothing. So
Didn't happen if she
I
didn't
think
hear
we've
it.
learned I need to be out of the room for things to happen.
when we're doing camera
Ah,
stuff.
see, there's
I was
interesting.
not in the room for the May Stringer thing intentionally.
Yeah, we went to the May Stringer house with a couple vloggers, Tampa J and Chris the Girl, and they were doing a haunted house in the haunted house, where they were doing like an attraction in this super haunted location.
That seems like a mistake.
Right? It's like
a horrible, terrible, no
let's
good,
throw some
very bad.
gasoline on that
Yeah,
fire.
that seems like a horrible,
You
no
know,
good, very bad horror film is what that sounds like.
And we're there, and we're showing them, and upstairs, but the haunted house does not go into the attic. The attic is where the ghost Mr. Nasty is. You gotta love when the ghost is named Mr. Nasty.
that sounds horrible.
Yeah. So
Not good.
So we got a few minutes alone in the attic from the curator. I'm like, hey, you guys are taking down the haunted house. Thanks for having us. I'm going to take them upstairs to the attic. We really didn't get a good filming of the attic. And they were like, oh, yeah, go, Mark. I'm one of the few people they trust up there. And I'm like, all right. So we go up in the attic, and I lock the door. And I'm like, all right, now we're alone in the attic, and we've got some time. Hey, Mr. Nasty.
What could go wrong?
What do you want to say anything? Do you want to do anything? And we're wondering what's going to happen. And nothing happens, and then we're
They're like,
discussing.
"Yeah, he doesn't wanna
yeah,
do
and we're
anything."
discussing this thing that happened earlier with this doll in the room. You gotta love haunted dolls. And we were just talking about
don't,
that
Mark,
as
I
we're
don't.
about ready to leave.
I'm not going to lie to you,
All
Mark.
right. But Robert, we love you, and that's all that matters. But anyway,
Sure.
as we're discussing that, and they're filming me, suddenly the attic door, which I had locked, goes, and just like, time to go. We have been invited out.
That is very much where I have this very specific thing when I'm watching a horror film.
Yeah.
Where I feel the character should be like, we should go.
And that is
We should
exactly
leave.
what we said. We're
Let's
like,
get the hell out of
See,
here.
I have a feeling like when that door creaked open, that was like the original Brown sound, if you know what I mean.
yeah. It's what's funny
Yeah,
about
it's
it
not
wasn't
great.
just like a slow.
No,
It was a.
Oh, wow.
Get out.
It's like-
and they're all like,
Playtime is over.
and they're all like freaking out about it, and it's like, and of course I was like, wait a minute, Kari's not with me. She stayed outside because she knew exactly something would happen if she wasn't anywhere in the house. So
But so you got these podcasts going. What are the name of the podcast? And where
it's
can people
Eerie
find them?
Travels. You can find it on all major podcast platforms, or just go to eerietravels.com. That has the link, and it's also on YouTube. And then you can also
The books. What about the books on Amazon? Mark?
They're on Amazon, any bookstore,
Any bookstore,
anywhere. You can find us anywhere in the state. We're in like every CVS, Cracker Barrel, and Walmart. And you gotta know you're famous when you're Cracker Barrel famous. So
Yeah,
that's all good.
pancakes and books are the way to
Exactly.
go.
If you go to the little gift shop, you'll see some of our books there. When you're picking up your drugs at CVS and Walgreens, just look for the History Press rack, and you'll find us there.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your
Oh, it's
busy
our
day.
pleasure.
You're in
So-
the horror section of the
And
Camp Horror.
the con.
What time is the campfire?
Campfire's at 6:30, and get some s'mores, have some fun, and just remember, s'mores are like people. The more broken they are, the better.
And
Thank you, Mark and Kari. Thank you so much.
yes, and ladies and gentlemen that are still out there, please go to the Indie Escape Network, like, subscribe to all our socials. We greatly appreciate it.
Boom.